Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing great. Hang on one second. I hope you guys are doing great. So for today's video, I don't know how to balance out this channel, so I'm trying out different variations at this point. I am trying to do like conversations, topic starters, and kind of be in the comments with you guys, kind of discussing through things that are interesting, or what you find interesting. And that's one thing I didn't say in my last video, like to comment and kind of continue the conversation in the comment section. But that's lesson learned. So for today's video, I wanted to kind of talk through, I guess this is kind of the chronicles of my fear. And one of the biggest things that has currently been a fear, or kind of the biggest reasons why I've been on and off with YouTube, is, or has been, the feeling of the permanency of an opinion. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I feel like at times, and I've seen this with other YouTubers that I follow, like there's this expectation of, you've said something and there's no ability to evolve past that and kind of grow in whatever viewpoint you've had. And here's the thing, with me, I'm very opinionated, and I'm very passionate about things that I'm opinionated about. And that has kind of been the fear in navigating YouTube, is like, how do I communicate things in a way that allows for me to still grow within whatever I feel, or whatever opinion, because it's not necessarily a feeling, but I feel like my opinions go with feelings, but that's a story for another day. But how do I have an opinion and still have room to grow within that space? So that's kind of like, that has been a fear for me. I don't necessarily have answers to that, but I think the camera actually cut off for a second there because my memory was full. But what I was saying was, there's some conversation where I feel like this is kind of how I feel like this is kind of like the long-term way I might feel about a subject. And there's some of them where I feel like I'm kind of still growing and understanding, or finding an opinion about certain things. So I think that has been like it's kind of like an interesting journey, but that I still do want to share. I think it's kind of figuring out, what does it look like between us, and kind of how do we all kind of grow within, I don't know, maybe things that are generally interesting, sometimes interesting to me, and kind of talking about areas where I feel like I've grown. I feel like I know where I'm going, or where I'll end up with specific things. So I think that's kind of been my thought process, and with no answer really is really what I'm saying. So that is kind of just, I don't know, I guess this is kind of a disclaimer of like, there are certain things that I would love to talk about. There are certain things that I feel like, okay, here's the thing with me. I feel like in many ways I have found growth and being stretched in how I see things through conversations and relationships with people. I feel like conversations are ways that help us kind of see beyond our blinders. Like, I think we all, when we are in one community and one space, it's so easy to not be understanding of other people's views about the same conversation and topic. But I think conversations kind of broaden you beyond that space. And this is kind of what I want it to be. I want this YouTube channel to be a space where I come with my own opinions, and I add my 2 cents to a conversation. I'm not necessarily always right. I'm not always right. Not even, forget that I'm necessarily right. I'm not right often about the way I view things. I feel like in my standpoint and with my faith, there are things that I kind of hold to, which are different from ways that other people would hold to. But I think a conversation is always helpful in us finding peace and creating a community and space where we all kind of think through things. And even within my, like, when I say my community, I mean the church. So I'm Christian, and there are things that I hold to. I don't agree holistically with everything that Christians do, of course, because we are all individuals in that way. And even within Christianity, we are so divided. There's differences in how we live out our Christian faith, right? Within the different communities that we live in. And there are certain things that are like, we're speaking about the same thing, or we are coming from the same point of like, we both read the Bible, but we have different opinions of how living it out could look like. So I think that's kind of what I want this channel to kind of be like, to be a space. Sorry, I live with people. So they'll be walking around and all of that jazz. But even in that, how do we create a space where we kind of talk about things that are uncomfortable, things that aren't easy, and things where we find wider differences within, whether it's my Christian community, whether that is like as a society as a whole. I think all of those things play into how we think about life. And I know that I've been serviced by people outside of what is comfortable for me, conversating with them. And even within my Christian circles, like there are things that between how we look at racial issues and things like that, there's where I can see that we differ on what is the possible resolution. Or even living within South Africa, having lived overseas for a bit, in the US for a bit, and kind of seeing like life within those contexts, and more so from a Black standpoint, and how, like, even seeing like there are so many similarities and yet many different differences and challenges within life, and how we live as a society as a whole. So I think that is kind of my hope. This is kind of my disclaimer of what I hope is for this channel, and kind of where I'm coming from. I can be very strong in my opinions at times. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm right, again, but I'm willing and open to kind of having conversation with different people about what people think, which is scary. I feel like that is also really a scary place, because we all I think we all feel strongly about our opinions. I've met people who disassociate emotions and kind of think of their opinions from a logical standpoint, but I think for the most part, all of us navigate our opinions from an emotional standpoint, right? It stems from, I felt this way, and kind of navigating with logic to kind of find or find a conclusion. I don't know what I'm saying, but kind of find like an end point to a feeling or whatever we've experienced to have or formulate an opinion. So I know for sure that we are all coming with our feelings to different conversations, and that's the reality of it, and I come with my own. So that is my disclaimer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this isn't boring, and I hope that my hope is like it will be exciting, because I love talking through things. Thank you. Do be in the comments, do subscribe if you enjoyed this mini rant conversation with no conclusion or end. And what else? Let's grow together. I think that's what it is. Like my hope is that we grow together. We all come with our different opinions. I'm not the smartest, I'm not the brightest, but here I am with opinions. So I love you guys. I hope you guys are doing well and keeping safe. And I don't know what else to say. So I'll end it there. Bye.